Hello class, Professor Watson. This week's video is going to be on structural collapse, building collapse, and ways and things that cause it. I apologize, this is me after a 48. I look horrible. So to begin with, we'll go with types of structures. You've got 5 types of building construction out there. Each of these are going to affect the type of the length of time that these fires can withstand. You know, the more resilient that the structure is, say like a type 1 construction or type 2 is going to be able to withstand uh, a longer time than a type 3 or type 5 even. Things to consider, let's see, is the type of materials used. So you have the types of structures and the materials used in these structures. Newer construction, there's a lot of not natural materials that they're using for these these particle board woods, these OSBs, these plywoods, gypsum. There's a lot of things out there that once they get going, they burn fairly fast. They burn quickly, and structural collapse and instability is a very good possibility. Things to consider. You were explaining in the beginning of the video the difference between a room content and a structural fire. So room content, you're going in there, you're making a stop on whatever is burning in there, whether it be furniture, whether it be clothes, a bed, etc. Once the components of the building are on fire, it's going to go up. It's going to be a lot more unsafe than what it would be in a room and content. So something to look out for is when that fire seats itself in an attic space and the trusses are going, that's going to cause quicker building collapse. That's going to cause more red flags in your head to think we need to make a stop quicker, or we need to think about what we're doing and if we should be in here from the time length of when we got into this fire. Something to consider. You were also saying, multi-story fires too, with the GPMs of water you're putting on that fire. If you're putting, like you said, 1,000 gallons per minute into a larger apartment complex, a multi-story, say it be 2 to 10 floors, whatever it may be, all that water, it really has nowhere to go. It flows down stairwells, it trickles through the holes in the wall, through wherever it can find a way to go, but for the most part it's going to sit there. And after thousands upon thousands of pounds of sitting there, it's going to cause a considerable amount of possible danger for your firefighters in there. Something to think about is the weight that you're putting from the water that you're putting on the fire, along with the actual fire degrading the building, degrading the integrity of the building. So something to consider. Let's see. Common fire that we have in Pasco is the mobile home fire. Sure, we're all very familiar with it. We've probably all encountered it. It's a very hot burning, quick fire. It's one of those where if you're not on it within a couple minutes, it's going to be out of control. It's going to burn the structure immediately. Mobile homes are fairly weak structures to begin with, so it's one of those things where once it gets going, it becomes an oven. The structure is going to fail, and it's going to come down fairly fast. So something to consider on those mobile homes. If you don't make a quick stop on it, it's probably not worth your time, because you don't know what's in that mobile home either. It's one of those things where you walk in, it could be a rat trap of a maze of someone's hoarding collection or something. So those can be very dangerous. It can cause faster building collapse. There's other things that cause building collapse as well. It's not just fire. You have natural disasters that cause building collapse. You have age of structures. Pasco County in general, we don't have a lot of very old historic buildings, so we don't have that risk as much as, say, a Tampa or St. Pete, or if you go to some older cities in the U.S., you have these fairly old structures that could have structural integrity issues, and you wouldn't even know about it just from the age of the building. These things can be something, throw red flags up. Newer construction is fairly what we have in Pasco, so something we don't really consider as much, but when we do encounter it, it's something to consider. Let's see. where in the structure's fire, how long it's been burning, how much water flown. Um, it could be a warehouse. It could be something that's storing chemicals or explosives or something of a nature that's going to cause immediate danger to that structure once ignited. If you ever encounter propane tanks going off in a structure, these things all sitting on the wall, they can cause structural damage to a structure where it's something to consider. You know, there's just a lot of little things that can cause building collapse. There's a lot of things that we need to be aware of, and that's pretty much all I got. That's all I got. Thank you guys, and I look forward to your post.